Hey, I was going to see if we wanted to fire up a game of Guess That Sound.
Oh, that sounds
And
remarkable.
yeah, so let's see.
That is the last podcast we were doing.
Yes.
All you
Yeah.
have to do is add crunching ice noises and squeaky chairs.
I was going to say, here's the other one. Let's see if I can get it to fire up.
I never could figure out if it was my chair or yours.
It depends on, like, if I'm, like, leaning forward. The sensitivity is, like, way over the top. That's bringing back memories. That was the classic beard scratch of
Scratch.
episodes 1 through 3 or whatever. We kind of went a little crazy on
3, like 20. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, until this very last one.
There'll always be something until we get, professional equipment all around and stuff. There's going to be something. I'm not losing sleep over it too much.
That one in my knuckle cracking. I can't.
Oh, was that?
It's one of those things.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
You crack them a lot.
I know it. I know it.
Yeah, it's a good microphone. I wish my microphone picked up everything like that. like my voice.
Yeah, the one thing, if I ask for nothing for Christmas, I just want one thing, and that is pick up my voice, please.
You're listening to, and this is why I love comics.
Andy and Mike. Andy and Mike.
He's so tired and old.
Why am I saying this out loud?
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Happy New Year.
How to do?
And this is why I love comics. Is the podcast you've chosen. Congratulations.
You made it this far.
You've made it this far. You've listened to us. Hopefully this isn't your first, but if it is, that's okay too. We like you joining in and talking to us about things. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mark.
And that's how we introduce ourselves every episode. We're kind of consistent that way. But if you don't like it, just ignore it. Just hit 5-second, forward or something, And I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But welcome. This is the first episode of the new year. We're going to try to keep this light and a little shorter. I'm not sure if that's what we'll do. We'll succeed or not. But we've got some plans we're going to talk about. I have some reviews to talk about as well. I picked up some books lately and actually have read them. So I'm going to talk about that as well. It's a weird time here. Christmas break just got over with at the beginning of the week. School started. And, after 2 weeks, I have a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old that I have to drive every day to school. And so, that Monday morning, it was kind of rough getting them. And usually it's rough. So this was even rougher. Every morning I have to convince my 5-year-old to get up and go to this place that he doesn't like. And so, that's always fun. So after probably 15 minutes of just kind of calmly telling him in a fatherly voice to get up, he finally did. And you have to go through the daily routine, me yelling up the stairs at my 13-year-old to get up. Even though he has an alarm clock, it's named is me, Andy. And so I got him up. I didn't feel like making lunches, so I made them, okay, we'll just get hot lunch today. I'll put some money in your account. And luckily the weather was pretty good. Pile in the van and we drive down to the school only to find out that their school starts on Tuesday, not Monday. And so it was just a trial run. And I misread the bulletin, I guess, and thought they started on Monday, but they didn't. They started on Tuesday. So we had a little laugh at my expense, even though we turned around, went home, went to bed.
I was going to say, did they still get a hot lunch, though?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Yeah. It was direct from the kitchen of the home.
Right. So
No
that's
lunch
how my
lady
week
needed.
started. All during break, I was hoping that it would come faster than it did because although I love my children, they are in a age where they tend to fight. The 5-year-old and the 13-year-old, and it's kind of grinding after a few weeks of it. So I was looking forward to them returning, and then to find out it was another day.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
sure who
close.
was more disappointed, them.
Yeah. I was going to get a few hours reprieve, and then boom, back in my lap, huh?
Right. Now I still have my daughter. She's 4, so she's hangs out with me during the day.
No, she, like, at this point, she's like half a year, basically 3/4 of a year away from going to school herself.
Yeah.
What's her interest in the whole prospect of school?
She's gonna handle it like a champ. She already gets up when I ask her to, and she's ready. Like she's gonna be no issues, no problems. At least these first few years, I think she's gonna rule the school.
That's those anticipation moments. Now, how much of your life are you looking to impose upon her? Meaning, like, vicariously, are you going to go like, man, when I went to school, I didn't get along with my teachers, and I didn't, I always forgot to return my library books to the school library on time. It's like, but through her, she's going to love every single teacher. She's going to get those books right back to that library and do all the things right that I didn't do right when I was growing up.
Well, I'm not going to put that much pressure on her. She just has to continue to love Jurassic Park and dinosaurs and Star Wars. And then I'll be fine. Everything else is great,
Yeah.
So, and she's a big Spider-Man fan.
Oh, even better.
So, I guess,
Has she read the Kraven's Last Hunt?
She technically has not, but I'm sure she could have written it better.
And that's when a fluffy butterfly goes around the corner.
They're really getting into Star Wars right now, my younger kids, and so I've successfully transitioned them into Star Wars, just like the rest of the children. Now manga is a big part of the 13-year-old. He loves manga, and I don't fault him for that. It's very accessible, more accessible probably than anything else. So that's great that he loves that, and he's pretty much the reader of the kids. So I'm all for whatever he wants to read, and he'll read some comics. But none of them are excited about comics, and so I do feel that failure as a parent, a comic collector. They just don't have it, and I've even taken them to conventions, and they have fun, and I've taken them to comic stores, and they kind of grumble, but it's just part of life.
It smells like spoiled milk in here.
Right. It smells like cedar chips and old comic books.
Pure desperation. Can you bottle this? I still think I know I've mentioned this before, but Mattel had a great San Diego Comic-Con giveaway. It wasn't even like you had to pay for it. It was just a giveaway premium at their booth. And it was when the original Masters of the Universe line came out. They had 2 toys, and one of the gimmicks of the toys at the time were scented plastic. And so one of the characters was Moss Man, and he had a pine. So they gave Moss Man deodorant, pine scented deodorant, and they handed that out at the convention.
I hope those marketing people got extra money for that. 'Cause that's genius.
I still have it. This is part of my display in my office here, but that stick of deodorant, it was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. If you've been to a comic convention, you know exactly like, this is where, like there's no soap allowed apparently in a comic convention, and it's like, whoo. So handing these things out, yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah.
I hope that's changed. Do you think the new generation smells better than the old generation?
I don't think so. And
no?
The reason that I'm saying no is there's a lot of cosplay now than there was back in the day. And the cosplay, a lot of those costumes are made out of materials that don't breathe very well, or they're very heavy. And so it's like almost as soon as they walk out the door with said costume on, it's like, whoo. And there was one. Holy crap. My son and I had gone to it. I think it was like a C2E2. And we were like heading over to meet one of the doctors from Doctor Who. I think it was like Peter Davidson. We were like, I think he's at his table ready for a signing. And we were on our way, and suddenly we just walked through something. It was like an after image of an attendee. And it was just like, ooh, how did you leave a mark in your wake of just unadulterated stink? And it was just high octane putrid. And it was so bad. And it was just like, we actually had to kind of like go around because it's like, oh man, I don't want to be stuck in this. You
had to stop your eyes from bleeding.
Yeah. Oh man. It was like, it just was so, and it wasn't, not trying to be like, stereotyping, but that, I still remember walking through the McCormick Center and just hitting that wall. And it was one of those things where we both were like, yeah, this is going to be good. It was like, and it's like, how do you not notice that? How is it that is like, when you leave the house that morning, you're like, yep, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, well, I've had conversations with my wife about people who sweat a lot. Do they just get used to it, the smell, or do they just don't care? Or I don't understand. I've been smelly now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting myself above that, but when I smell,
you're fragrant.
I know I smell. I smell it.
It's lingering over you as well.
It's like when you fart and people are going to notice it. You smell it too.
I'm going to have to give that one a name.
Right.
It's going to be around for a while.
Right. That took the pain off.
I remember we had a mutual friend, and that dude could clear a room. And I remember being at your house for one role-playing session, and we were in the second room, and he had trapped me in there because I was over in a corner, and he was by the door, and just blasted. And in doing so, I couldn't get out of there. I was tempted to go through the window. Right. It was that bad.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass him or anything, but we'll call him Greg. And so his smell was like, he was known for it.
Yeah, he had a brand.
Yeah.
He had, it's one of those things where it's like, Coke versus Pepsi, it's like, I know the taste, I know the smell, it's like this dude, man, when they tell you can smell the cork, it's like, woohoo! He had his own brand.
He was so successful, he put it on his resume.
Yeah, there's a new element on the periodic table because of the digestive juices that he was working through.
So how was Christmas for you?
Oh, outside of the blizzard that we had?
Yeah, we got hit with a lot of snow, and now it's all gone again.
Yeah, almost instantly. It was kind of like a Hollywood movie set.
Yeah. Where
I was like, look at all this snow that they got. And then, like, within days, it's like, poof, gone. I mean, traditionally, the road crews and so forth have been really, really good at getting us, out and the roads cleared and so forth. But you usually have like a day, maybe at most 2 days, where it's like, I am putting my life on the line getting out of the house in the morning.
Yep, hazard driving.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I remember one time that the snow was so bad, I was leaving this toy company, heading home, and it was only like a 15, 20-minute drive normally. It took me an hour and 10.
Yikes.
Just because like you couldn't even see the road.
Yeah.
You had no idea. It's like, this is not a
white
good
knuckles.
spot.
Just,
Yeah.
I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
I know. And your wiper blades couldn't keep up. Your headlights were catching every flake and just bouncing the light right back into your eyes. So you could only see like 10, maybe 15 feet in front of you, if that.
Right.
And, you get on the highway and normally it's like 70 and I was going maybe about 15. We were supposed to go up and see family on Christmas and spend several days leading up to Christmas due to, obviously the situation. So the snow hits like Thursday night, leading up to Christmas. And they're like, yeah, get off the roads. And then they talk about like all the roads around us are shut off. Like the state government had like, yep, close that road. People are dying. The people are sliding off the road. And it's like, ooh, that's not good. So I was like, glad we didn't head up there for that reason. And then Christmas comes on the Sunday. And that's when they finally plowed our road so that we could actually like see somewhat of a path that our road had in front of our house. Yeah. And shortly after, the blizzard of 2022, temperatures rose to like 40 by Wednesday and 50 by Thursday. So that Friday I went up and we just literally kind of Viking pillaged family up north. And we just zipped up there Friday night, exchanged gifts, and then came back Saturday morning. And I was like, zip, 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 back.
Did you get a chance to watch your Lord of the Rings marathon then?
Here's the mistake.
Oh, no.
So I always on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, I have the Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson extended edition running. And it's just one right after the other. And I thought, you know what? I've been doing this now for, quite a while with the whole Lord of the Rings thing. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I gave it a short straw or whatever they call it. I gave it kind of it's not maybe as bad as I think it is. So I fired up the Hobbit extended edition this year. Holy Moses. I was like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. And I struggled because I was trying to like get through it. I was trying to even like, because I'm still working on some stuff in my basement. So I had it on my phone. And so all I'm doing is listening. And even then I'm like going, I can't even listen to this. It's just abysmal. And it's like, I didn't even make it through the first one. So I had to palate cleanse it and put in the Rankin Bass Hobbit. And it's like, okay, yeah, the Hobbit is a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the Hobbit extended stuff. I liked it more than you did, but it's a pale imitation of the book and also of the first Lord of the Rings movies. It just wasn't, man, they, for one book and they space it out to three movies. It's Oof. Just, I understand maybe two, but but three, I don't think it needed that at all.
No. And they could make an animated movie that was like 70 minutes.
Right.
It's like, it covered everything you wanted it to cover. It's like, yeah, I think that was pretty much all it needed to do.
Right. And why include Legolas? Like, don't throw in stuff that wasn't in the book.
Romance between the elf and the dwarf. And I was
right.
Like,
right. Yeah.
No.
None of that needed to be in there. The story was fine before. It didn't add anything. In fact, it kind of just went, oh, what is this? holiday movie of the week, romance.
It was like fanfic, it was just like, oh, you know what? And there was so many elements that were just wrong. It's like the beards of the dwarves were so annoying. It's like, I understand. Yeah, it'd be fun to have a couple that they braided them, but this was beyond braided. This was like, these things were like doilies they were wearing on their face. So it made them almost look embarrassing, but
yep. I did enjoy the smog dragon scenes because that's iconic in the book, and the "Who are you?" title,
Barrel Rider,
right? So I thought that was pretty good, but
even that went like, it was one of those things where he took off the ring, kind of like haha, and then ran down that hallway. That was it. The entire time it was just a conversation they were having, and instead it was like, we're running around and the dwarves are running around, and again it's like this video game of them just like ding, 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 ding. And it's like Mario Brothers going through and watch out for the mushrooms. If I remember right, the dwarves never encountered smog technically.
I don't think they did. Yeah,
but in this, there's an extended, and it diminishes Bilbo because he was the only one brave enough to go in and see Smog himself.
Right.
The other ones were kind of coward, and it's like, and it again, it makes it a longer movie, certainly, but it also kind of, I don't know, it just kind of diminishes, the brave act that Bilbo had done of going in. And I was watching, we were trying to find a TV series because it's the new year. We haven't watched a really good TV series in like about a year. Like, there's nothing that we're like, oh, that was a great one. We got to watch that. It's like, and one where you're almost like, you need medication because you become addicted to watching a show. I thought, well, I'll fire this one up. And it was something like Almost Human or something like that. And it was like
British.
Carl Urban was the police officer, and he was with a cyborg assistant police or detective or something like that. And I thought, it's got Carl Urban. It can't be bad. Wow, that was.
But he was good in it, right?
He was the only reason to watch it.
And that's why I love Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yep. I could say, hey, let's family, let's all sit down and watch The Boys.
Followed up with Judge Dredd and
released in 3D at one point. I think so, because especially with
The
the
Boys
scenes. Oh, yeah. Here's your
some things I don't want to see in 3D.
Yeah. Homelander. Woo-hoo! Yikes.
Hey, now.
Edit some of that.
I'm not editing that out. What are you talking about?
But yeah, I hadn't watched a show in a while that I felt like, holy crap, I gotta get more of this.
Are you typing again?
No, actually, of all things, what I'm doing is put some wrapping paper away. We're still recouping from the holidays, and I was trying to roll up a scrap of. Yeah, that'd be a massive one. And it's like, happy holidays. Right.
Yeah, the next day I took the Christmas tree down, so we had it up like 4 days.
Wow.
I was like, boom, done. See ya.
Yeah. How do you decorate said tree? Is it tree with lights and ornaments? And then are the ornaments like, the kids help make, or are they like, I bought a bunch this week
Hallmark
at the store.
We have an artificial tree, of course, because of my allergies, and then we threw in ornaments, and some of them are ones that the kids have made, and most of them are like Hallmark, Star Wars or superheroes or stuff that I've gotten, along with some really pretty ones that my wife has gotten over the period. So it's a nice mix of
yeah, it's a blended tree.
That's right.
Okay, you can make of this next statement however you will, but have you ever done the hide a pickle? You can, like I said,
This is where
excuse me?
the beeping noises go. Edit, redacted,
Hey.
redacted.
Yeah, I never said that out loud. So one of those things we came across, like, I don't even know how far back, but somebody was talking about like this tradition that you set aside a gift for a child who would find the ornament that's a pickle ornament. It is legitimately a pickle. Not like obviously a real one, but it's just
We just
modeled.
open up a plastic,
Yeah, that's got crunch.
throw it in there.
It's just, yeah, you just toss it into the tree, wherever it lands. There you go.
Sometimes we throw it in the backyard in the snowy weather.
Yeah.
Go find it.
Hide the pickle.
I've heard of it. We've never done that though.
Yeah, we've been doing that for years now, and this year was the first year that all three of them found it before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Is that
it's
good or
kinda-
bad?
It's either I'm getting lazier at hiding.
Like, do you
Scent.
camouflage it? You put it in like camo and
Well, it's a shiny. It's like
tinsel.
blown glass. So again, another way of phrasing things. Ornament that kind of shiny and green. So it's the same green as the branches, and then you just kind of like bury it within all the other ornaments or something like that. And then when the kids were much younger and we were doing it, it was kind of fun. And then whoever got to see it first, I had a gift from both, but the main thing was whoever found it first was theoretically was able to pick which one they wanted, and they got to open the gift first. But
Cool.
yeah, it was just something, and it to me it was kind of nice because it's like, crap, I put in a lot of work decorating this tree. I want those kids to stare at it for a while, and this is a good excuse for them to do that.
I mean, we've done the elf on the shelf thing
Oh yeah.
for a few years when the kids were younger and it was more entertaining. We've done that and that was fun. I mean, they'd try to find it and I'd be a little creative with it, but that was a very short time when they were participating in that and it wasn't hokey or dumb,
Yeah. It's
And
just
then
like, oh,
that
here
faded
goes
away.
Dad. Yeah, we were offered that license at one point, and I'm like going, because we had done a lot of Christmas toys. We had done like Rudolph. We did Santa is Coming to Town, Peanuts Christmas, Disney's Mickey's Christmas Carol. I mean, you name it, we did toys based off of Christmas. We were offered Elf, the Will Ferrell movie, to do toys on that. And we're offered,
Alien life form.
oh man, Alf, yeah, holy crap. Gordon Shumway, and then some other ones, but yeah, Alf on the Shelf came to us, and I was like, this is not a deep property.
Right.
There's not much we can do. It's you find the Elf, and that's the only toy we're making.
Right. Well, I mean, they have all those memes where, they have different sayings about, you found Elf on the shelf. How about Keith Urban with a bourbon,
Oh, yes, yeah. There's
there's thousands of those you could do.
yeah, and they're not licensed. There are a few that I was like, oh dang it, we should have done something with that.
Right.
I think the worst is going back. We had an opportunity to talk to Warner Brothers, and one of the things we wanted to do was the Rankin Bass Hobbit, do a series of toys based off of that. And we were super excited. Like, oh man, we made presentation materials. We talked about the whole line of toys that we were going to do, because it was going to be like from the Hobbit itself, like Bilbo to Smaug to the spiders. It was everything. And it was going to be all based off of the Rankin Bass. Yeah, where there's a whip, there's a way.
That's right.
So we get out to New York at this licensing convention. We sit down with Warner Brothers, and these two ladies that were, there to meet with us, they were trying to get us to sign for like Wizard of Oz and Frosty the Snowman and some other things. And we said, oh, that's all well and good, but one of the things we'd like to do is this. And they were like, what's a hobbit? And it was like, a what? You guys, Yeah, it was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
And then the
Look
second
in your
thing we had-
catalog.
I know. And they're like, I don't think we have this. We don't have anything with a Hobbit, do we? And then the second thing that was on there was we did the same. We made the huge presentation, all this material, and presented to do the Thundercats figures. And that too, poof, like Thundercats, that's not, is that, a line of kid, like girl toys, or what is that? And it's just like, you can tell these two ladies that they had for Warner Brothers were just, they were there to promote whatever they were assigned to promote.
Right. Yeah.
And they were vacuous as far as
That's all they know.
else. Yep, that's it. I was like, where do I go home after this? No idea. What's home?
Can you get two other people that are actually fans of stuff to come out here, please? Well, we should probably talk a little bit about comics before we wrap up,
So you had read some comics?
I did read some comics. I still haven't read Propeller Man, though, so I'm really disappointed in that. I'm going to try.
How many issues have you gotten through?
I'm still on one.
And that's where it sits.
But it's not because I don't want to. I just have found other things to read. So the other
instructions on toilet paper, anything but Propeller Man.
Yeah, I went to a comic store, Rookies in Lowell, a couple weeks ago, and so I picked up a couple DC issues that I thought would interest me. The Justice Society's Return.
Oh, the new one.
And then the Golden Age. It was something Golden Age. I don't have the books in front of me, so that I know that's not a very good help. But
it had pages. There
Right.
was some art in it.
Oh, it was called
by
the
some
new Golden Age. And then there was a JSA book as well. And I love the JSA. I love the history of all those characters. So I thought I'd give it a try, and it reaffirmed my belief that DC has no clue what they're doing. And it's just throw as many characters. Don't tell a story about these characters, discovering these characters or these characters growing to be heroes. Instead, they're just already out there as heroes. We should have known about them years ago, but we don't. They're the kids of all these other obscure characters. There was already a wave of new characters in the 90s and the 2000s that Jeff Johns did. And, and those kind of made sense. And then suddenly there's a whole new group of them. They don't make sense at all, really, unless I'm missing a few key issues that they did while I was ignoring DC. But I don't think so. And so they'll just, we made up 12 new characters that they didn't have to make. They could have actually just used the ones they made in the 2000s that were related, like kids of. And
Wildcat has a daughter.
Right. And it was kind of like that, here's this kid, and here's this person who had a child and you never knew about it. And it was just, there was no story behind it. They were just there. And I'm sure it blends into a story later, but it was disappointing. I thought it would be like a build up. They're trying to,
And it was just an info dump. Like, basically, here's all these people.
Right. Here's all these characters we can use for future movies and stories.
Yeah.
And we'll fill in the blanks. And it just didn't, it didn't flow. It was just garbled mess. It was pretty disappointing. The art was good, but and the coloring, was good. But other than that, it was just so DC-ish, like they've been. It's just, I think that really summed it up for me, and I don't need to get any more. It was so disappointing. I'm even if they did another Legion of Superheroes book, I'm not sure I'd even be interested. It would depend on what version they were doing and stuff. I think I'm done with DC I'm not their audience that they want, and they don't care about me at all.
Dedicated fans that have been there forever.
Right. It's not me. They're just trying to give junky stories to people who are so dedicated or just starting out,
better.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just too bad.
The Kevins of the world.
Right. So they'll probably go up for sale, somewhere, and I'll be rid of them, and I'll be enjoying some back issues. You know who does care about me, though? You know who does love a good story? Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Here we go. Starting to get indoctrinated here.
I'm already I'm in it all to win it. I'm good. Because they actually tell a good story. Even when I can see things coming, it is so good just to sit and read it. I don't know if we're going to talk about this now, but I got the hardcover of Reckless.
Oh, yeah.
And I've read it over the last 2 or 3 days. And
oh, man.
It was like reading a novel. It was so in depth, and I felt like I was really involved. And even though it was characterization, and it was familiar but new, and it was just refreshing. And it had no superheroes. It was kind of gritty.
No lightsabers.
Right. It was real life, and that's usually not me at all. And I just enjoyed the heck out of it. And when we review it officially, I'm going to have fun with that.
With Brubaker, I think if I recall correctly, he was somebody who was kind of like an army brat and just got moved from place to place to place. So he got to see and experience the world firsthand. That's like, when you look at early Marvel, a lot of those people lived in New York. So when they drew Marvel characters and heroes fighting and existing in New York, especially like Kirby, he looked out his window and that's what he saw. Whereas we in the Midwest, it's like the booming metropolis of New York is like, I don't know exactly what that's like, because whenever I went to visit, it was just to visit, never to live.
Right. You see farmland and
yeah, all the heroes of like the Combine.
Right.
Watch out for Silo. That's
John Deere comes around the corner
with the strength of 100 deer. It's just. But with Brubaker, I do feel like there's something, because of his growing up, that helped give him a wider world perspective, and it really feels like he understood L.A. in the 80s, and it's like, holy crap, this is great. Yeah. And the same thing when his I know you said you had it too, but the other books like Fatale,
Criminal,
Fade Out, all of those have a very strong, like, this is as if it were written in the era in which it's written. The one you would like was one called Pulp, P-U-L-P, and it's about like an old pulp writer, Western writer, pulp novels. That era when those books were in demand, it was like, dang, this is great.
Yeah.
So, and the art is, like the same team. Now, granted, as a writer, you can write any story you want, but a lot of artists kind of lock in a look and a feel, and that's it. They're done. But for some reason, Sean Phillips is able to kind of morph his stuff from series to series just enough. It's not, massive, like, holy crap, that's a completely different artist. But it morphs from series to series to have a little different flavor. So his stuff they do for Reckless is different than Criminal different from Kill or Be Killed. There's just enough difference that it's like, oh man, this is so good.
Yeah, it is great. And I bring it up because the broader sense of comic books and my age, we're both 51, I've lost interest in superheroes, and I wonder if that's because of our age. Because we've seen it all, and DC and Marvel are repeating things over and over, and not as good as before, in my opinion.
Diminishing returns.
Right. So, it's not like I'm looking for realism. I mean, I read the Dresden Files, and that's my favorite series of novels. So I'm not looking for super fiction, non-fiction-ish type stories. Escapism. My interest in superheroes, the current market, it's interesting how much I am really not enjoying anything except the independent stuff now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't want to say I've matured, because I haven't, but
we spent how long talking about farts?
Right. I mean, yeah.
So we're still right in there.
Right. But it's interesting in my older, wiser, it's a question mark there, but how much I loved Reckless and how much I loved Something Is Killing the Children. And
Well, I think a lot of it has to do exactly with what you're saying about the repetition and the same old, the status quo of like, holy crap, the Joker, guess what's going to happen? The Joker's going to break out of Arkham Asylum. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to murder a bunch of people. Oh, no. It's like, okay, guess what's going to happen in about 5 more issues? The Joker's going to break out of prison and kill a bunch of people. And then just do that on repeat. One of the things that I remembered, I thought it was kind of funny, and I don't know why it never dawned on me, but we were working with Archie Comics and making products, and they had shown that their covers have nothing to do with the comic inside. It's based on the month. So every July, if you look up every July cover of Archie Comics, these were mostly the digest. It was going to be them in swimsuits. And then if you look up every, Thanksgiving time, or there was a back to school in September, October was a haunted house one, Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So, I mean, they had a schedule that would be repeated year after year after year for Archie Comics. And I thought, holy crap, that's what most comics are. And I think that's what, to me, if they had spandex heroes with stories that had meaning, not, like, oh, we're going to do something that's going to be a marketing gimmick. Like, oh man, did you know this character is now this? Or did you know that we're going to introduce another character in variant covers? And it's like, ugh. But what makes like these Brubaker books is that they're interesting stories that have not been necessarily told this way. And I go back and like when we were reading like Tom Strong, it's like that's a throwback to existing comics. And one of my favorite comic series is still Supreme, even though it has Rob Liefeld associated with it. It had Alan Moore and Chris Sprouse. You couldn't get any better than that. But they were just telling great Superman stories. Because it was just a fresh take on the character, it made it more enjoyable and readable. But now everything's so formulaic. Like, when The Simpsons came out, everybody loved it. But then after a while, the humor started to fade. The jokes got kind of stale. And it's like, how long is Bart in 4th grade? Can he move on to, can he grow up? Can he move to another grade?
5th grade, please?
Yeah, let him get to middle school at some point in the next, in these 30 years.
I'm sure there's some new jokes in middle school,
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole Diary of a Wimpy Kid has survived on that alone. We kind of had some texts going back and forth, but like I said, one of the things I liked about Invincible, yeah, it starts off with him being a high school student, but it ends. He's got spoiler alerts, but he winds up having a kid, and the kid gets older. And
hey, la 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 la.
I said the
la.
spoiler alerts.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, not to me. I haven't finished reading it. Sorry, Coach.
But in the 150 something issues that Invincible went, it had trajectory and allowed for new story elements to be introduced because the character was getting older. And I think that's what I liked, and you were kind of indicating that too with JSA, is it allowed the heroes to get older because they were starting to have kids of their own. And, they may still have the hero element, but then there's a generational component to it as well, where, before Bendis ruined Jonathan Kent, Superman having a young kid was something like, wow, what's Superman like as a father? Now it's about, Jonathan Kent's doing his own thing and has nothing to do with Superman. And it's just kind of like, you lost that connection. Yeah. All the story potential.
No, you said marketing gimmick. I think maybe that's part of it is the rehashing of crises, and
starting over at number 1.
And it's just, I don't know. There's a bunch of new characters that are just repeats of the old characters who have already repeated the older characters, and it just, this cycle, like DC was all about legacy, and I don't mind if you talk about the children of these characters, but make it in a story, make it make sense. Don't just dump ideas and names so you get the copyright of these characters. It's a waste, and the writers are lazy, and everything that Jim Lee and Jeff Johns has done since they've made it to the executive level of DC has been bleep. It's been, it's, aside from a few things, which has been enjoyable. And it's too bad because I do like Jeff Johns' writing. I think he's great. He's got a handle on DC characters. But it's just their direction, and it might not be just from them. It might be from the higher ups that don't know what they're doing either. Kind of like those two ladies you talked to.
Surprisingly, from Warner Brothers.
They don't know what they have, and they don't know how to handle it. And it's just too bad because I don't have time to wait for them to get a grip of what they have. I'm going to now focus on something else like Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, now that I found this. And now, you've told me about Parker from Darwin Cook, and there's all these things, there's all these avenues that I'd much rather spend my money on because I know I'll have fun reading it.
These are proprietary characters that they can do whatever they want with. It's like when you went to see Episode 1, Star Wars Episode 1, and they introduced you to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's like, oh no, they're in a room of poison gas. Will Obi-Wan make it? I don't know. I was like, of course he's going to make it. It's Obi-Wan. He knew that he was the character that was going to return in, Episode 4. And it's just spoilers. As a result, the character lost, any of those moments, any tension was false tension.
And I don't mind if you're character building and you have a character that is going to live, as long as it's worth the story.
True.
And you could argue that it wasn't, and I could argue it was, but, about the Phantom Menace. But, it's just, I'm running out of time. I don't need to waste time. My age is getting to me, and I'd rather spend it on quality and not quantity.
True.
If you'd like to chime in on our opinion or your opinion or any other opinion,
counter our opinions.
Yes.
Tell us where we're wrong.
Tell us we are wrong and what we should be reading from DC or Marvel. That would be great. I'll try anything. I love comics. The podcast is named I love comics, sort of. I mean, this is why I love comics. And even talking about bad comics, I love talking about comics. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes the bad ones, Propeller Man's given us a lot of fuel.
I can't wait to pass those on. So
it's like the monkey's paw. Initially, it seems like a good idea, but you just want to get rid of it.
Right.
It's a curse.
You can contact us and this is why I love comics @gmail.com. Check us out on the Twitter. Check us out on the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group, and you will get notifications of when we have a new episode out, unless you've already subscribed, to where you download your podcast, and you'll get them from there. Any which way, you'll get little secret information and tidbits and some images of what we talked about, like the Hawkeye miniseries and balls, and a whole bunch of stuff. And we are planning on doing a monthly YouTube episode, but we're still working out all that stuff. So maybe February we'll hopefully start that, or maybe even March. We're not gonna rush it and make it bad. We're gonna take our time and do it right. So and this is why I love comics. I'm Andy,
and I'm Mike,
and we will talk to you soon.
Happy 2023.
Woo, woo. Bring on the Thunder Chicken. Thanks again, Thunder Chicken, for letting us use your music. Go check them out on Spotify.
Why don't you lick my cuts? Wounds like these go through my veins. Why don't you let my cups go up and down my veins?
Happy New Year.
God bless us, everyone.
2023, 2023, boom, boom, 2023, 2023.